All right, we just gonna cut to the chase today. Now, after working with several entrepreneurs like coaches, consultants, and service providers, I noticed that they believe that they need a million and one things in order to have a successful, profitable business, right? And after working with them in their business, I noticed that they only needed four key things. And so today we're gonna talk about the four key things that can help you build and grow a successful, profitable business. And this is a video so that way you can actually live the life that you want to live, be able to spend more time with your family because the business is actually going to pay you what you're worth, right? And so we're just going to hop straight into it. So I want you to stick around for number four because number four is the most important part of it, but all of it's important. But let's just hop straight into it. So the first key thing in order to build a successful, profitable business is you have to have a real solution to a real problem. Now, I know a lot of people talk about having a solution and having a real solution to a real problem, but what does that actually mean? How do you understand what a real problem is? And who does this problem need to be for? Now, based off of your life and how you actually serve people, you already solve a problem for somebody. Don't think of the solution to the problem as something that's, you know, over. I don't know. It's not as big as people make it seem because a lot of times when I was working with the client, they were thinking that they needed something extravagant in order to make people's lives better. But the simple things that they already do based off the experience that they have was the very thing that they did the best. They solved the problem the best. And they already had an audience after realizing the problem that they already solved. And so, you know, if what you're selling doesn't actually solve a real problem, then people won't pay for it. Like, think I'm gonna put it in practical sense. Grocery stores solve a real problem. What problem is that? People need a way to get more food. They need a way to get more products. And so they created a building and house a whole lot of products so that way it can be more of a convenience for you to go inside of there. So people don't have to go out and pick their own crops. They don't have to go and find the manufacturer to do all these things. They don't have to sew nothing. They can just go to the store and buy it. So for you, what is that problem that you what is the problem that you feel people overlook and they know that they have this real problem and you already solve it today? Right? So your offer needs, and the offer is your solution, by the way. Your offer needs to fix a problem that people actually care about, not just something that you think sounds good, right? Because I can think that people love pizza, but the whole time this community, these set of people love tacos, right? And I'm trying to make it into a simple way so that way you can really understand, right? So when you find a clear problem that people have and you actually solve it, you become the obvious choice for them to go to. You become the obvious person to pay in order to for them to actually get the solution to their problem. So the first key thing is solving a real problem. And you can research what problem people actually have. Look in the comments, look on threads on what used to be Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. People have problems. What's something that you already solved? And so moving on to number two, clarity on who you are and what you do is so important that people miss it. It's something so foundational that people look over it. It's so simple. Because how do you how do you know that you can actually help people if you don't even know who you are? Right? Because once you actually get clear on who you are, then you're able to serve other people better. Because a lot of people say, "Yeah, I know who I am, but I just don't know what I'm really good at." Then you really don't know who you are. You don't know what problem you solve. You don't know what transformation you're actually good at helping people with. That self-reflection, that internal work has to be done in order for you to have a profitable, successful business, right? Because the profitable part means that you can solve a problem so well that people will constantly pay you and you're able to help yourself and help other people by putting it inside of a business and doing what you do, right? So the thing is, if you're not clear, your audience definitely won't be, in terms of like they won't know what you actually do, right? So you need to know who you are, what you do, and how to say it so that people can actually get the value that you're actually presenting to them, or the solution that you're presenting to them. Because the clarity that you give them, it attracts more clients. Like when you're confusing it, all it tells people is, nah, bro, don't work with me because I really don't know what I'm talking about. That's what it sounds like when you're confusing to people. So if you saying, hey, I have a trucking business, but I can help you sell some cars, that don't match. It don't match. Just because they two vehicles doesn't mean that they mesh together. So let so f- let's just say, for instance, for me, right? Who am I and what transformation do I offer people? I help coaches, consultants, and service providers actually get clear on who they are, so that way they can attract more clients and get paid more for what they already know. So that means I help them package their offer, their value in such a way that it attracts more people to their business. And so when people know who you are and you know how to actually communicate that to them, that's when the money starts flowing in, and then you can actually be more profitable. Because profitable, and let me make this statement, profitable doesn't mean making money. Successful doesn't mean having $1 million. Profitable means that you're making so much money and your expenses are very little. So if your revenue is high and your expenses are little, guess what? You're profitable by that much, right? And being successful is relative, because it doesn't mean that you have to have $1 million. You can have a company that's bringing in 500,000, and you're actually successful at that point. You have no debt. You're able to serve others willingly. You have more time, more freedom, more time to really spend with your family. That's, for me, that's what success actually looks like. Being able to do the things that I was called to do, that God put on the inside of me. That's what makes me successful. So before we get to number three, all of the things that I'm talking about right now, these are the very things that I actually work with my clients on, in terms of getting them clear, so that way they can actually get more money in their business. So if you want to be able to do the same thing for them, I have a free training that I've decided to give away. All you got to do is just comment launch at this point of the video, or at any point of the video, and I'll send you a free training, so that way you can actually go through the same things that they went through and get clear, so that way you can attract more clients and get more business. So number three, you have to have a way to get leads and actually convert them to clients. Now, I heard Daniel Priestley say this on a recent video. He said, if you have no leads, you have no business. Like, if you have no leads coming into your business, you have no money, you have no business. You're not a nonprofit, right? And so you need a consistent way to actually bring more clients in, more people to the solution that you're actually having, that you have for their problem, right? You have to actually walk them through a process, an experience, a journey, so that way that it can actually turn them from interest to income. And it's not all about making money, but when you're excessive or obsessive over solving other people's problems, the leads actually come, but you still have to have a system behind that in order to convert them, right? And so what are leads? What are leads? Leads are people that are interested in what you do, and they become clients from leads with the conversion process that you have in place. And so that's almost like using funnels. That's the technical term for it, right? So that's the in between system that helps people go from interested to clients. That is what you need in your business. If your if your experience, um, dang, if the process in between a person being interested in what you do and actually making income, if that part is cloudy and they don't even know how to become a client, you don't have money to come in. So to be profitable, you have to make more money. To be successful, you have to make more money. To have both of those, you have to have people that are interested in what you do and turn into clients. So get a way, actually build a way to actually convert them into clients, right? Um, that's something that I also teach inside of the, not the necessary training, but the other part of it. But anyway, the last part of it, we was just talking about systems. You have to have a simple system that every you have to have a simple system that keeps everything running, right? So your business actually needs structure. You can't just do it off a whim. You can't do it when you're actually motivated. You have to have a system that runs while you're not, right? Because a lot of people, for a lot of people, self-employed for sure. If you don't work, the business don't run. When you don't work, the business does not run. And so that's the key problem for a lot of entrepreneurs, is because you should want to build a business that can actually run without you. Like building a team, building the infrastructure so that way you can actually live the life that you were called to live. Because when you actually have a clear system set in place for how you actually attract clients, how you nurture them, and actually, give them value for actually being there, sell what you have and serve, it makes everything easy. I promise you, it makes everything easy. Like, systems create more space for you to actually grow. It creates more space for you to think, for you to be able to actually scale your business to make more money. So without a system, all you're looking at is burnout, more confusion, overwhelm, and trying to figure out more ways to do things the hard way, right? Because my belief is that you should work smarter and not harder. If there's a more simpler way to do something, do it that way. Why do you have to choose the hard way of doing it? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't work hard, but if you're working hard at the wrong thing, all you're going to get is failure. You're still moving in the wrong direction. So you have to work hard on the right thing, on the thing that actually aligns you with the vision that you have for your business. So these are the four things that help you build a profitable, successful business. So that way you can actually live the life that you were called to live. And you know, I know that a lot of people will say, man, I feel like I need more of this and more of that. That's shiny object syndrome, right? Stick with one thing. Stick with one thing that actually works. Like, you don't need 17 funnels, you don't need five different offers. Start with one thing. Use the rule of one, right? One offer, one funnel, one experience, one set of clients, one transformation, one problem that you actually solve. One. Not five, not 10, not two, one. Because when you are chasing more than one rabbit, you end up catching none. But this is the end of the video. I could talk forever and give you game on top of game on top of game. But until the next video, I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.